Vocalists, we've made it to the third video in our S.I.N.G acronym series for vocal expectations. This week we're looking at the letter N for never unprepared. We are always prepared. Imagine if an electric guitarist came to one of our rehearsals and just said, you know what, Brie, I don't know the riff. I didn't learn this song. I'd probably send them home. A lot of times vocalists show up thinking that their part is less important and will say, oh, I didn't practice the verse. I didn't practice that spot because I'm not leading this song and I didn't think I would need to know that. That is not good practice. That's unpreparedness. We need to be good stewards and people who are prepared all the time for anything to happen. You're just as much a vital role and a worship leader on this team as everyone else. And so you need to take your job seriously. I want to read to you from Exodus chapter 36, verse 2. It says, Then Moses summoned Bezalel and Aholiab, and every skilled person to whom the Lord had given ability, and who was willing to come and do the work. It's important that God calls skilled people. You didn't make it through your audition unless you were skilled, okay? I would have never said yes. But now that you're skilled, you've got to be willing to do the work. And oftentimes vocalists think that, well, I sing and I don't have an actual instrument in front of me, so I don't need to practice scales. I don't need to practice any drills or things like a musician would. We all have rudiments, and I'm telling you right now, it's just as important that you are warming up your voice and getting to the basics of what you do with this instrument, just like any other instrument. Okay, I want to talk about your role. You need to understand your role in a song, absolutely. So if you're an alto, you're probably only going to sing in the spaces where altos are singing. But it's important that you have a bird's eye view of the other roles in the song. What if someone shows up unprepared? Let's hope that's not the case. Or maybe someone calls out sick and now we need you to swap parts. Would you be able to do that? If during a sound check, I want to go listen to something out in the house and I need someone to step in and sing lead for a song, would you be able to do that? You know, success is often defined by preparation meeting opportunity and the two coming together and meeting at a specific time. The first solo I ever got, I was not assigned to sing the solo. It was years ago. Pastor Comer was actually leading the team and I showed up, and a friend of mine who was leading the song, she called in that day sick. And so Pastor looked at me and he said, have you prepared? And thankfully I had prepared and I was able to lead the song. I am asking that you come just as prepared to lead every single song as if someone wasn't there. We've seen in the last few years how unknowns can spring up and people either are here or are not here. It's critical that every single person on our team is prepared for anything to happen. We like to hope and pray, and most of the time things go as planned, but in the event that they don't, you've got to be prepared to step in. I want to talk to you, one of the spaces in our handbook, it talks about making it better, continuing to develop our skill. As vocalists, again, we oftentimes think that, well, my voice is in here and I just have what I've got, and that is the furthest thing from the truth. There are plenty of vocal resources available to you online these days. There's lots of really good subscription services. I can recommend some for you where you can subscribe and really grow your gift just like a drummer or a guitarist or even a chef or a photographer. There are some really practical things you can do with your voice to help take care of it and be a good steward of it. And it's important that you prepare just as much with your throat as everyone else does with their hands or their feet. Okay, another really practical thing you can do at our rehearsals is to record yourself and be a good self-evaluator. We actually record all of our rehearsals, and on Thursday nights or Friday mornings, depending on the file size and the load time, our rehearsal mix is loaded into Planning Center so that you can listen back. I would encourage you to listen every single week, and when you're scheduled, make notes. You can only do one thing at a time. You can't sing and actively listen, or you can't actively listen and sing well. And I hope that you're singing well actively at rehearsals. So at rehearsal, be fully engaged and sing your best, do your best. But when you're at home practicing, when you come to rehearsal, go back and reevaluate. We all have little voice memo recorders in our pockets these days. It's really easy to record yourself and listen back and make adjustments based off of what you're actually hearing. If you want to get really good at evaluating, seek out some leadership or some trusted people that you know are skilled and say, hey, can you help me? I'm wondering what areas I can improve on. And I promise you, they'll tell you. I'll tell you, and I'll be honest with you, and we'll work on it together. The other thing is, take time to watch the live stream back on the Sundays that you're scheduled. This sounds really silly, and we're not looking for performance or fake expression, but expression is just as much a part of your role as a vocalist as it is singing. And if you're standing there really sad, it doesn't encourage anyone to worship or join into what we're doing with song. Your job is to encourage people like Miriam did in Exodus and say, come join the song. Our God is worthy of worship. And so your smile, your body language is communicating that to the people. Watch the live feedback and get an idea of areas you can grow in your expression in worship, because it's just as important as your sound. We want the sound of our worship as a whole to be exalting the Lord and drawing people into his presence. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.